Future so bright, has to wear shades. 50 years old, newly minted winner on PGA TOUR Champions. What did you learn about Phil Mickelson this week, if anything?
I don't feel like I learned a ton, but what I did learn early in the week, at least, is kind of where he struggles. And he talked about how he felt like he'd been a little steery with the driver, that there were certain things that he was trying to work on in his game. So I think for me, it gave me something to look for, and it's something I'll probably continue to look for as he's under the gun. He was able to obviously overcome that in a way. In fact, we saw some pretty decent driving from him on the final round.
You see a new man, Robert Cameron. Is this going to translate to the PGA Tour, to the U.S. Open, perhaps?
In New York? Can New York, he can be a new man? Is that what you're saying?
New York, yes, you can. Yeah. Hamilton, great show.
My wife's been making me watch it all the time. So I think that it's going to go a little bit of a ways towards making him more confident when he gets to the U.S. Open. We're talking about U.S. Open because we're talking about history. The career Grand Slam, it's incredible. And he can certainly take confidence away. He said that he's been tweaking his putting, and it paid off. It paid off until, I mentioned a little earlier, the last few holes, and I absolutely think that it would be wrong of us not to give Tim Petrovic a little credit for sticking with Phil, not letting Phil chase the record, not letting him walk the last 7, 8 holes and just wave and say, this is mine, no problem. Because the way Petrovic played, I think, forced Phil into playing safe. He played the last 8 1 over par because he was protecting the win, because Petrovic kept hitting good shots and making putts. So instead of doing the Arnold Palmer thing, saying, I'm 7 up with 9 to go, I'm going to go for the all-time U.S. Open record, and accidentally blowing it, Phil had to turn his game a different route and say, I'm going to protect this. There's no way I'm going to get to this point and then blow the trophy.
Well, Tim Petrovic was just outmanned. I mean, he did not have the tools in his quiver that Phil Mickelson does. But one question we posed, Paige, before the tournament was, what about Phil Mickelson? What do you see in terms of would make it a successful week for him? And you said hitting the 72nd, or in this case, 54th.
The final fairway.
The final fairway.
And yes, this was alluding to, of course, Winged Foot in a month where he's going to be trying to capture that U.S. Open title. And I thought, okay, we need the last hole, the 18th hole, final round. Can he hit the fairway? Can he hit the fairway? Can he hit the fairway?
I mean, it is a par
It's a success.
4, Paige, but the par 4 18th at Ozarks National, a little different than the par 4 18th at Winged Foot
They
West.
do look slightly different.
Yes.
But I think the point being,
Yes.
he was here to work on different aspects of his game that would be important come Winged Foot. And whether it was the driver and finding fairways and not being steery, or whether it was converting putts, which I think is actually the most significant thing that he can take from this week moving forward, is knowing that and seeing the ball go in the hole. I don't care who you play against, what golf course you're playing, you shoot those kind of scores and you're making that many birdies, that's going to bring you confidence. Just seeing the ball go in the hole.
But what about hitting driver, Robert, I guess I'll ask you, on wider fairways? Can that translate to more narrow fairways, more difficult rough, more difficult golf courses?
If you're really struggling with your driver, wide fairways can be a bad thing. It's like when you're struggling with your chipping, and you get a really difficult, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You get a really difficult chip, and you can hit good chips because your expectations are down. When you get the chip that you're supposed to get up and down 99 out of 100, that's when your mind gets in the way if you're not chipping well. So the same thing, if you're not driving it well, you see a fairway huge, and you say, there's no way I should miss this. There's a little added pressure to that. At the end of the day, do I see Phil still playing well enough to really, really win the U.S. Open? No. I don't. I think that this course is just different. I think that there's so many more good players now and so many more explosive players, where even back in the day when he lost it at Winged Foot with a double on the last hole, that there were only a few guys that could really bomb it out there the way Phil did. And it's going to take a lot of things going his way. But I am excited about the putting. I did think it looked really good and really strong. And that, good putting works anywhere you play.
Yeah, and I think this was actually a great exercise mentally for Phil Mickelson. When you talked about the expectations of a bigger fairway, you're supposed to hit it. When you talk about the expectation of a 3-footer, you're supposed to make it. When you talk about Phil Mickelson at Winged Foot, he's supposed to play well.
Right.
And I think this, when he knows all eyes are going to be on him in a month at the U.S. Open, I think this was a good exercise to be playing under that type of expectation and pressure.
Does it change your opinion a little bit about his potential?
100%.
It does.
It does. Only because winning breeds winning. And if you start to see the ball go in the hole, you gain confidence no matter where you play.
Okay.
Again, we heard from Sophia Popov about the U.S. or the Women's Open win and how just a mini tour event and winning there really helped translate.
Yeah.
You can gain confidence from each and every one of those things, and in the fact that he was rolling the ball so well, and able to win at any level is you're going to gain confidence from.
Reminds me of the old ad campaign. What will Phil do next? I don't know. We'll find out very, very soon.